Welcome. In front of me I have the brand new Xiaomi 15 Ultra, and I'll go over unboxing along with a quick look at the device and also its specifications. So anyway, let's just get straight into it. Couple seals to cut through, and here we have... Why is this so thick? There's what in the high heaven is this? Jesus. Okay, I guess I'm in for a interesting unboxing. So I love how this is a normal sized box, and I can already tell that they wasted a lot of freaking space and didn't include a charger. Fantastic. Now, typically I am positively set for Xiaomi, as they did have good devices. This, on the other hand side, I will not be, because this gargantuan camera right here is well, one of the biggest dish plates that I have ever seen on a phone, and number two, the price tag is also one of the highest one I have seen on a candy bar phone. For like F's sakes, this phone is more expensive than a S25 Ultra, and it's a Chinese phone. I don't mind Chinese phones as long as they are priced adequately, and this trash is not. Or maybe saying it's trash, it's not the most adequate, but for God's sakes, there's no reason for this device to cost, what is it, $1,400? I believe that's the price for it. No, 1,500, oh, not even dollars, euros. Great, yeah, fantastic. Just completely insane price. So it's a typical candy bar phone for absolutely insane price. And I don't care how good of a photos it takes at this price. I would expect not only take photos, but do some other things, if you know what I mean. So yeah. Now, and that was also one of the reasons why I started pointing out that there's no charger, which is just an absolute like middle finger. For a phone that costs this much, there's no reason to not include in this box a charger. It's big enough. And I don't care what kind of cost cuttings or planet saving bullshit you want to add. There is going to be a charger, or just F off with this kind of device. So, you can probably already tell I am not going to be very nice about this device. Primarily just because of the price tag. It is just batshit crazy. So, now let's talk about the specifications away a bit from the price tag. And for that price, obviously you expect all of it to be top-notch, and from just a quick glance, I can already tell you it is. So we have 6.73-inch display. It's a 1440 by 3200 pixel display. It's a LTPO AMOLED display, 120 Hz refresh rate, Dolby Vision, HDR10+, HDR Vivid, and a peak brightness of 3200 nits. Pretty good all around right here, with inclusion to like HDR10+ certifications and Dolby Vision. So again, they didn't skimp out right here, at least. And they have something that is called Xiaomi Shield Glass 2.0, which is just the glass that is at the front, instead of things like Corner Gorilla Glass or some other ones. We also have a whopping 522 pixels per inch of density of the pixels, and a 89.7% screen to body ratio. So in terms of the display, the device isn't holding anything back. Now, moving on, we have the probably star of the show, which is the camera setup right here with a just hefty freaking sensors. Like, this is just, my goodness. So we have a 50 megapixel f1.6 aperture 23mm wide lens. Then we got a 50 megapixel f1.8 aperture 70mm telephoto, 200 megapixel f2.6 aperture 100mm periscope telephoto, and another 50 megapixel f2.2 14mm 115 degree ultra wide. And summing those off, we also have a time of flight 3D depth sensor. And with those cameras, we are shooting at 8K at 30 frames, 4K gets us up to 60 with slow motion of 120, and well, 1080p gets us to a whopping 1920 frames per second of slow motion. And then at the front we have a hole punched camera that houses a 32 megapixel f2.0 aperture 21mm wide lens that does 4K at 60 and 1080p also at 60. So camera wise, obviously this is probably at this moment the best phone on the market when it comes down to cameras. But then when you have this kind of UFO dish plate at the back, you would expect it to have the best cameras. This is like, you can just hold the phone by this, as you can see, and it is not going to slip out of your grip. Like, this is chunky. So continuing on, processor, nothing surprising. Snapdragon 8 Elite, the newest and best Snapdragon you can get right now. 12 gigabytes of RAM out of the box with the smallest possible version of this device, and 256 gigabytes of built-in storage with UFS 4.1 storage type. Now you can get it all the way up to a terabyte and 16 gigs of RAM, but again, going back to the price tag, the base entry at this price is absolutely insulting. 256 gigabytes of storage and 12 gigabytes of RAM for a device that costs $1,500. Have you been smoking something? Maybe Xiaomi should put down the crack pipe, because this is a bit out there. Even I think the Fold has the audacity to give you actually a little bit better specifications than this. Let's see. So Fold, let's do Fold 6. We're looking at, oh no, never mind. We're also looking at 256 and 12 gigabytes of RAM for even more expensive device. So I take that back. Still at $1,500 for a candy bar phone, I think this is egregiously too low of a specification in terms of storage. Even when you consider the fact that this device can shoot at 200 megapixel raw photos, you're gonna probably clutter up this device storage pretty quickly with these kind of photos if you're utilizing this camera to the fullest. So this is just kind of $1,500 for 256 gigabytes is just kind of like a suggestion. You're not going to be spending $1,500. You're probably going to be spending more, because you will most likely need the 512 gigabytes of storage, and these interesting gentlemen lacked 512 gigabyte storage with 16 gigs of RAM. So not only do you upgrade storage that you probably want to upgrade, you also are forced to upgrade RAM, which you don't need to upgrade. Awesome. Just fantastic middle finger. And last thing will be the battery right here, which is a 5410 mAh battery that can be charged wired at 90 watts and wirelessly at 80 watts. So this is very close to each other, surprisingly. But unfortunately, we don't get a charger in the box, so we can't charge this phone at all out of the box. Yay! For $1,500. Now, to sum this up, it's an insanely expensive device that is designed to shoot photos and try to do that at its best that it can. And presumably, I haven't tested it out yet, it's probably the best one on the market right now to do this. But at $1,500, it's a very steep price for a Chinese phone. And Xiaomi previously was very good in terms of pricing their phones to be very competitive and just offer you a great phone, great feature set for affordable price. This is not it. This is the sheer insanity of Samsung and Apple. Slap in an insane, batshit crazy price tag and see how many people buy it. And I genuinely dislike these kind of prices. And there are still people that will buy this device. You probably watching this, you might be buying this device. And just, I want you to know that the more people like you there are, the higher the prices will get. Because if a company can get away with selling you a $1,500 device and bullshit you into believing that it's inflation, then next year they're gonna release a $1,600 device, and then $1,700 device, and soon enough we're gonna be getting mortgages for phones. Awesome. So just remember that. Now, to give opinion about this device that is completely outside of the price tag. It's obviously a fantastic phone. It packs everything that you'd expect from a flagship phone, as it is a flagship device with everything trying to be the best that it possibly can be. And yeah, that's kind of what we get right here. The only downside, apart from the price tag, is this massive camera right here, as this is pretty substantial, and when on a table it is at a noticeably visible incline towards me, because it is just genuinely being propped up by the camera. And the bigger these kind of camera systems get, the closer they are to an actual DSLR, which defeats the purpose of a phone camera. These supposed to be kind of like easy to take around. This has heft to it. Like, I can feel there is weight up the front from the cameras. You can see that there is a enormous cancer cell growing on this phone, and it's really starting to get to the point that it just kind of defeats the purpose of a phone camera almost. At least from my perspective. I like my phone to be a little bit more compact. That's kind of why I'm using this. And this is the S25, the small one. You can kind of see the comparison in terms of size. Like, man, let me actually even take off the case, because this phone thickness might be very close to the camera lens. Yeah, it's not quite there, but it's close. So this phone is nearly the thickness of just the camera bump. So it is a pretty hefty camera setup right here. And like I said, for $1,500, even thinking like objectively right here, it might be more beneficial for you to get an actual camera and then a phone as well, and have two of those. Now, it won't be as convenient to carry both of those, but I'm pretty sure even with a dedicated camera, you might have a better kind of photo session than you do with a phone. I haven't tested it out. There is going to be a little bit of a difference. Camera, like a dedicated camera, will not be doing much of AI, and I have noticed that the new phones tend to do a lot of AI upscaling and stuff like that, and the photos are starting to look more and more artificial. So if you don't even like that, then it doesn't really matter how good the camera system is, when most of your photos will start to look more artificial compared to a camera that would run you about the same price. For instance, getting a phone like this and a separate camera, as I paid for this about $600-700 US, and I would have again another like $600-700 for a dedicated camera, which would give me better bokehs and just photos, I would presume, than a phone with less AI wonkiness. But anyway, with that out of the way, I hope you found this very helpful, and if you did, don't forget to smash like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.